Okay, asca members, welcome to the August meeting of the Board of Directors. We have everyone here. We have Ann, Cindy, Denise, Jean, Judy, Ken, Laura, Linda, Liz, Rachel, and Rick. And I have a brief announcement before we start on the agenda. And that is, we'd like to remind the membership to send their volunteer photos to asca volunteer pics, ASCA volunteer pics at gmail.com before August 15th. We had a wonderful slideshow last year, and we hope to continue this tradition. And we've had a slow response this year, so get your photos in soon. Thank you. We are asca. Yay. We will be discussing 5 items. We're going to be ratifying the July email business. We're going to be talking about the system upgrade. We're going to be discussing answering members on the official discussion list and how we're going to do that. We're going to be discussing DNA committee research request, and we're also going to provide you with we're going to make a decision on whether to let members know about a cautionary message to the membership regarding distemper and flu, and Liz will bring us that. So that's how we're going to go through the agenda. So the first thing is ratification of the July email business. Usually we have a motion and a second to ratify the July email business.
And it's Cindy. I'll have a motion to ratify the July email business.
Thank you.
This is Denise. I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor from Cindy and a second from Denise to ratify the July email business. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion carries. The system upgrade report. Rachel, can you handle that?
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so the RFP has went out to 5 vendors for the website maintenance. We have a due date back from them on 8/31. Joyce and Allie, of course, were major in getting that RFP done for that. And Joyce has taken on completing the RFP for the full system upgrade. Of course, she'll be supported by the rest of the team, and we really need to step up and start working on that. But unfortunately, everyone's had heavy workloads on their jobs, and so we hope to get that done soon. We have had an issue. Well, let me rephrase that. Our old system, ADMS, has not had an issue, but our support team for ADMS has lost some of the people that support it. So our hope is that when we find a vendor that takes over the system maintenance for us, that they also will be able to step up and help us with ADMS support. And so that's the only issue that we have right now. It is a non-issue, but could become an issue if all the folks that support that system fall out, basically. They lost one. The other one was having health issues. So hopefully we'll get that taken care of soon. That's all I have, guys.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Our next item is, did we have any questions or discussion on that? Sorry. The next item is answering members on official discussion list. The board will discuss how to best improve response rate to member questions posted on ASCA's official discussion list, ASCA members, ASC members. So, does anybody have anything to discuss?
And this is Laura. I'm the one that brought this up. It just seems like there was some frustrated members earlier in the month because they said, is this not the official discussion list? Why is no one answering us? And it really isn't anyone's official job. I thought we just might come up with a protocol, assign someone to be the one who answers. I don't know if that needs to be the president or the secretary, or if it needs to be a rotating basis. But it seems like we need to make a concerted effort to answer those questions in a prompt manner. That was why I asked that be added to this tonight.
Well, off the top of my head, my first suggestion would be that all the committee, if it has anything to do with something that has to do with one of our program or standing committees, that maybe the liaison for that committee take the first crack at answering and maybe bring the chair in. But I think more often they're more general, so good to discuss this. I think it could be the president, but my own feeling about that is that unless I know how the whole board feels, I feel hesitant to answer some of the questions that may be things that we haven't decided on. That's just one reason why I don't jump in and answer all the time.
This is Liz. Can I jump in?
Yep.
I feel like when, for example, a lot of the times when members send questions to the list, they have to do with, say, for example, motions that we are considering during that month's voting cycle. And I think that probably the best person to answer questions regarding motions should be either the person who makes the motion or the person who seconds the motion, because they, more than anybody else, know the rationale behind the motion and the ins and outs. And I think that, you know, when it comes to motions, I think that probably is the best way to go. I also agree that maybe if it has to do with whatever committee, whether it's the confirmation committee or whatever, that the liaison probably is the best person to answer if they want somebody from the board to comment, because they also know the ins and outs of what's going on in the committees. And so I think that the president should be answering when there is something that is particularly controversial or something like that, where maybe, you know, we need to do a powwow, and then maybe the president can do, you know, send a message to the membership.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it.
I agree with that, Liz. I think that's a good procedure. Anybody else? Should I go around? Cindy, what do you think?
Since I've been on the board, I've seen it where all the directors have commented and been allowed to comment freely, and then I've seen where it's been pulled back and we've asked for comments to come through just one person. I can see both ways. I can see where the membership wants to hear from each individual director, their stand on an issue, and I can see where the liaison might be the most informed. I do feel that if the membership asks for our individual opinions, we can freely give them without, we may be working together, but we are 9 individuals. That's it.
Denise?
I don't have a whole lot to add to what's been said because I haven't been involved with this before, but no, I think everything is pretty well been said as far as I know. Thank you.
Jean?
I agree with what Liz said. I think that makes perfect sense, and perhaps we need to make a policy of that sort, maybe.
Judy? Judy?
I like that idea of the liaison being the first one to answer, but I think if any director has an opinion, they should answer also.
Okay. Ken?
I'm good with what's already been stated.
Laura?
I'm good with the suggestions too. I just think it needs to be official, and we all need to be more aware of it so that members feel heard.
Liz? You already got your, do you have anything else to add?
I'm good.
Rachel?
Yeah, I agree with that position. It's better to have an answer from the board that everyone agrees with, and to allow members to think that their comments are actually being heard and considered. Thanks.
Rick?
I'm good with the reasons mentioned. Thank you.
So,
And?
yes.
And?
Yes?
You forgot me.
Oh, Linda?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Linda. I don't know why, but I
Okay.
went by you. Very sorry.
That's all right. In the past, directors aren't necessarily, and today, directors aren't necessarily required to be on the list. So if you're going to make provisions where directors are responsible, then there needs to be a policy where all directors are required to be on the list. That's number one. Number two, the official way to get correspondence to the board is through CALA and not necessarily the list. And that's all I got to say.
Okay. Important things. Where do we want to go from here?
Well, I did.
I guess, could we have, Liz, do you want to work with me on writing up something about this and send it out to the board and see if that works for them, and then go from there?
Sure.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do. The next item is the DNA committee research request, and Ken put this on the agenda. You have a motion for us? But that's for us to be discussing, to vote on in this voting cycle, in the email cycle. Did you want to discuss this?
Yeah, we really should approve it as quickly as possible, being as the time to open negotiations is approaching. Jean and I were going to come up with something, and we didn't get to it last month, so we had to make sure we got it done this month. So here it is. Our contract with Therion expires September 1st, so we need to take some steps to see if there's something that would better serve ASCA, or just even find out what the heck's out there. We don't know. We have no factual knowledge of who provides DNA services in this country right now. So the committee was anxious to produce that resource for us, and I think we should take them up on it.
Do we want to go around, Cindy?
No comment right now.
Denise?
I think that's probably a good idea, because we've had some questions about Therion in the past, and I think that we need to know, number one, what the competition is as far as what's available, what kind of testing they do, how many markers they have, and how much it costs, and how will they save it, etc. So I think it's a good idea to search and research the DNA labs in the U.S. and do some comparisons. Thank you.
Jean, sorry, my voice is horrible.
That's all right. I'm ready to vote on Ken's motion. I agree with him that we need to get it done.
Judy?
I agree. It's something that needs to be done now.
Ken?
Oh,
Laura?
I think it needs to be done now also. Thank you.
Linda?
I'm good.
Liz?
I think we should do it now. Thank you.
Rachel?
I'm ready to vote now.
Rick?
Yeah, I think now's the time. If the committee's willing, let's let them do it.
Okay, Ken, could you give me a hand here and read the motion?
oh, I don't have my, I'm sitting in the car at our show site. I don't have my computer up.
Okay.
Sorry.
And I can read it.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Jean.
So this is the motion says, I move to request the DNA committee to research and locate all laboratories in the United States who offer DNA parentage verification for canines. They must create a list of questions to be asked of each lab related to what services they provide and at what cost. They are to base their questions on ASCA's DNA parentage verification needs as outlined in relevant policies and procedures. Any issues identified by the committee that would benefit from this comparison of laboratories to improve ASCA's program may be queried. The list of questions shall be reviewed by the Board of Directors prior to their approval for use. The committee is requested to create a report for the Board of Directors' use in ASCA's upcoming negotiations with Therian in renewing our contract. This report needs to be submitted to the Executive Secretary 1 week prior to the first meeting of the Board of Directors at the 2018 ASCA Nationals. The committee would please advise the Board of Directors if this completion date is unreasonable or if they have any questions.
All right, thank you. That was Cal, not Jean. So we have that motion on the floor made by Ken and seconded by Laura. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you. The next item, the last item is from Liz. She had the idea of sending out a cautionary message to the membership regarding distemper and flu. So do you want to take it away, Liz?
Sure. So yes, this was only an idea to, we have, let's see, I think I've heard that there have been close to 60 or so influenza cases in Michigan, like in the last 6 months or something like that. And then there have been just more recently some cases of distemper. The cases of distemper apparently have involved the wild strain of the disease, and usually the vaccine gives the dogs immunity against that strain as well. But apparently something's going on. The ones that apparently have been affected the most have been puppies of different ages, but all of them, I think, younger than 4 months, if I'm correct. Which, of course, comes to question, whether they have, mother immunity get in the way of the vaccines and all that. But I just wanted, when we passed the rule on the health safety procedures, we kind of agreed that maybe, when things like this happen, we should send a cautionary message just to let them know to take caution, to talk with their vets and make sure that they're protecting their dogs and making informed decisions. So I kind of wrote something for you in the email that I sent previously. If the board agrees, I can fine tune that, then send it back to you, and then we can. That's all I got.
Okay, Cindy, do you have anything about this?
No, Liz sent out the email 2 days ago, and I thought it was a good idea, and she put some good links up there. When we reviewed the infectious disease protocol, this was one of the things we talked about is announcements, heads up, and informative, and I think Liz did a good job on it.
Denise?
I totally agree with Cindy, and thank you, Liz, for doing that, because anytime that there's a problem regarding the health of our dogs, it needs to be sent out to the public as quickly as possible, and so I think it's a great idea.
Jean?
I agree with what Cindy and Denise have said. Thank you, Liz.
Judy? Judy. Okay. I don't hear Judy, so Ken?
I support the notification, so thank you, Liz.
Laura?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Judy, are you back? Not yet. Linda?
I haven't had a chance to look at the Dropbox, but is this the questions going out for the survey?
No, this is the one that Liz sent to all of us that talked about the infectious diseases that are out there right now that have to do with distemper and influenza that's kind of spreading around.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay. And Liz, you're good, I'm taking.
Yep, I'm good.
Rachel?
Yes, I'm good. I appreciate Liz going to the effort to bring this up.
Rick?
I'm good. I think it's a good idea to get out as much information as we can, even though in the end I do think it's everybody's their own ability to make an informed decision. But I think if we can provide that extra information, I think that's good.
And Judy, are you back? Nope. Okay. That's the last item, and we'll go ahead and get that out to everybody probably tomorrow or maybe in the next day or two. But one thing I neglected to do was to welcome Judy and Rick to the board. They're on the board discussions now. We welcome their opinion on everything that we're discussing. They can't vote until after the general membership meeting, but they're new to the board, and congratulations, Linda, for being reelected to the board. So they're all on the call with us, and I should have said something about that before. But they've been with us since the elections were over, so it's been ongoing, but not to the members. So welcome aboard, and that concludes our business for tonight. So thank you all for listening in, and soon we'll see a lot of you at Nationals. Good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.